When the final guns fell silent across Europe's shattered fields, the quiet didn't bring peace, it brought emptiness. Exhaustion. Over 15 million lives had been extinguished. An entire generation of young men had been lost or broken. Now the survivors faced a challenge even greater than war itself, rebuilding a world from the ashes. In 1919, the eyes of the world turned to Paris, where leaders of the victorious powers gathered inside the opulent halls of the Palace of Versailles to shape the peace. But from the outset, it was clear this was no atmosphere of reconciliation. Three men, each wielding enormous power, held the fate of Europe in their hands, and each carried a different vision. There was Woodrow Wilson, the idealistic president of the United States. He arrived with his hopeful 14 points, dreaming of a world without secret treaties, where nations could choose their own paths, and a League of Nations would safeguard lasting peace. He was the voice of ideals, of a better future. In stark contrast stood Georges Clemenceau, the Tiger of France. His country had suffered devastation beyond measure. He had lived through German invasions, twice in one lifetime. To him, there was no room for mercy. His goal was clear: make Germany pay and cripple it permanently so it could never threaten France again. He was the voice of vengeance. Between them stood David Lloyd George, the sharp-minded Prime Minister of Britain. He walked a tightrope, seeking to punish Germany to satisfy public outrage at home, while also recognizing that destroying Germany's economy could destabilize all of Europe. He was the voice of calculation. Inside the famed Hall of Mirrors, where the German Empire had once been proudly proclaimed in 1871, negotiations unfolded. But it wasn't a dialogue, it was an imposition. Germany, defeated, was not invited to the talks. They were summoned only at the end, handed a treaty already decided, and told to sign. On June 28, 1919, exactly 5 years to the day after the Sarajevo assassination, German delegates, faces heavy with shame and resentment, signed the Treaty of Versailles. For the victors, it was a moment of justice. But for the Germans, it was a diktat, a dictated peace, soaked in humiliation. The ink had barely dried, but the bitterness had already begun to seep deep into the German soul.